Hey everyone, this is Tech Orientation where we are going to get you familiar with all of your technology here at Keller Williams. And we're just going to jump right in. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Just a couple housekeeping things first. So if you are a new agent with us and you have not yet joined an association, so whether that be CMAR, St. Paul Area Association, Wisconsin Association, Iowa Association, you'll want to make sure and do that. Typically, they require that you join within 30 days and you're joining to get access to the MLS and you're also becoming a Realtor member. So please be sure that you are going to do that soon if you haven't already done that. The number to call here at Southeast Minnesota is 507-285-9833. And then just some other information here. So these are just a couple of examples of what you can expect to pay monthly when you join. Everything is prorated, and so it really depends on what month you join. Some months it's just cheaper to join, some are more expensive. But again, it's prorated, and so it's all relative. In the long run, you end up paying the same anyway. Sometimes you may be able to save money though if you're joining us towards the end of a month and you want to wait until the next month to join. One of the first things I like to go over is the Scott Lure email that you received. So sometimes when agents get that, there's a little bit of confusion because there's just a lot of information in there and a lot of credentials. And to be honest with you, some of those platforms you really don't need to be too worried about right away. Eventually, you'll want to get yourself familiar with those platforms, but you don't need them right away to get up and running and start running your business. So that email, when you receive it, will look something like this. And there's a video right here on how to read this email. I recommend that you watch this video. That's going to answer a lot of questions for you on how to read this email and what information is important for you to pull out of this email as well. As you go down, you'll have your credentials for Keller Williams. You'll have credentials for some different third-party vendors that we use that run alongside Command. And then you'll also have some great support numbers and email addresses on the very bottom of the email. One thing that we like to stress is that anytime you are accessing any Keller Williams technology platform, your username and password are the same except for email. That's going to be different. Your email, username, and password will be in this email as well. But mykw.com, KW Connect, agent.kw, anything.kw is going to be those Keller Williams credentials. So if you have questions about this email, please let me know. Otherwise, as I recommended, just watch this video and that will answer a lot of questions for you. So the next thing that I want to show you is a really great resource that we are constantly pointing agents to when they have questions, because chances are you can find the answers to a lot of your questions in our shared Google Drive. So we have a Google Drive that we share with all of our agents. It's called KWPR Agent Resources. And let me just pop right in there. And so when you, at some point within the first week or so after you join, you will receive an invitation to this shared Google Drive. Make sure that you click on the link in the email that's inviting you into it. Otherwise, it's just kind of hard to find, and sometimes it doesn't attach itself to your drive. So just make sure that you use that link. But you'll see here that there's a lot of information in here, and we're constantly adding more. Associate Leadership Council, so information about our ALC. There are some broker bits that our former broker, Tim O'Connor, did. They're just quick videos, typically about questions that he was getting from agents, or just little things that maybe, might be helpful to you. Closing disclosure settlement statement. So this is how to read a closing disclosure or settlement statement. So good information when you're getting ready for your first closing. Coming soon and buyer needs. So this is where you can access the spreadsheet that we go over in every one of our team meetings. So if you have a property that's coming soon and you want all of our agents to know about it, or you've got a buyer need, maybe something that, maybe you have a buyer that's looking for something and they're just having trouble finding exactly what they're looking for, you can share it on this spreadsheet and we will share it during the team meeting. And we'll also let you speak to whatever needs or whatever coming soons you have so that you can kind of sell those needs. Command manuals, there are two, well, actually there's more than two manuals in here, but there are two that you'll probably be familiarizing yourself with pretty quickly. The first one is going to be Command Basics, and the second one is going to be Command Commissions tab. So if you haven't already, you know, dug in a little bit into Command and how to submit your transactions and how to open opportunities, we would recommend that you do that as soon as you can. You know, with Command and some other things like familiarizing yourself with forms or operating a lockbox or scheduling showing, things like that. Just the basic information we would want you to be familiarizing yourself with first before you have a client so that we're not scrambling to try to help you. As much as we try to make ourselves available and as much as we want to help, you know, with anything, anytime, we're not always available, and that can lead to some frustration if you're not prepared. So just please take the time to familiarize yourself with the tools and resources as quickly as you can so that we're alleviating any of that frustration, hopefully. If you need a commission statement, that's in here. Information on continuing education, contract to close checklists. These are complete contract to close checklists for a buyer and for a listing. Every single thing you need, all the way from putting a sign in the yard to what to bring to closing. Goal setting. So Katie O'Brien does run a goal setting and budgets meeting. This is some of the paperwork that you can use to set your goals. It's called the 411, and basically you're determining what you want your goal to be for a certain amount of time. Typically you're doing it in the beginning of the year and you're determining what your goal is going to be for the whole year, or you're doing it last quarter of the year before. And it breaks down into how many appointments you need to be holding every single week and how many you need to be converting. So there's some great goal setting resources here for you. HUD or NAID information. So if you have a buyer that wants to put an offer in on a HUD owned property, there's instructions here on how to do so. You go to the website and you actually create your own account under the brokerage account, and you do everything through that account. Information on Ignite, which is a training that we always point our agents to, typically maybe in their second or third month that they've been in real estate. Instinet forms training, so anything that has to do with Instinet and how-to guides you'll find here. You won't find as many as you will on the actual website because we just pulled out a few that we get questions about a lot. So it's just an easier, more simplified way for you to find that information. Information about Keller Mortgage, Kellerisms. So all the little acronyms that you hear and see all the time, this is just a document that explains what those are and what they mean. Listing presentations, logos and marketing info. If you have marketing materials that you are ordering on your own and we're not assisting you with that, this is where you can find all of the logos and the marketing info and the approved logos. So make sure that you go here and you're pulling out the approved logos. And we recommend that anytime you are ordering anything, again, and we're not assisting you with it and it's marketing, please send it to Katie O'Brien. She is our compliance director, and she will look over that for compliance and make sure that everything looks good. That way you're not wasting money having to, you know, scrap it and reorder it if something is not compliant. Lore reports, you'll see us share our lore report for the previous month, typically right around the middle of the month. So here, right around August 15th, we'll be sharing July's lore report, and it stands for Language of Real Estate. And we take our numbers and we compare last year's numbers for that particular month to this year's and to see how we are doing as a company year over year. And then we also compare our numbers to how the Southeast Minnesota Association of Realtors is doing. So we take the numbers that come from the association, compare them to our numbers, and we put together a little report for you guys. So just to give you an example, this is June's. We were really proud of June. We had some awesome numbers come out in June. And so, you know, it doesn't look like this every month, but this was an awesome month. And we're just really proud of the jobs that our agents are doing. I mean, CMAR was down, and our agents, you guys, are just knocking it out of the park. I think that's a true testament to how you were all just able to pivot and just to find different marketing strategies during this time to be able to continue to run your business. A lot of you had a lot of buyers and sellers in the pipeline. So you already had, you know, plans for those properties to go up for sale and for those buyers to be finding homes. Minnesota Association Realtor, there's some resources here. Market Center info and policies. When you have your KWPR orientation with Katie, she'll go over this information with you here. But if you just need to refer back to it for something, you can find that here. That's going to be called your Passport to Success, and this has all of the policies and Market Center info in it. Some of the questions that we get a lot as far as, you know, information that can be found in here would be contact information for Associate Leadership Council. Our vendor information is in here. This first portion is kind of like a frequently asked questions, I guess, if you will. Just some general information about the company, expenses, things like that. So if you have a question, obviously, we always welcome any and all questions. For those of you that want to go out and find the information on your own first, or maybe it's after hours, maybe somebody isn't available, you know, we always like to have that information here as well. Market reports you'll find, MLS resources, information on mobile apps, MREA ops. This is a really cool folder. We're working on cleaning this up a little bit because there are some things in here that just aren't relevant anymore. It's really, it's sort of an addendum, I guess, that runs alongside, or an appendix, if you will, that runs alongside the MREA, which stands for Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And it's all kinds of forms on how, different ways to run your business. So, for example, there is, you know, exceeding seller expectations. It's sort of like the Bible for real estate. So these documents, along with the MREA, is all you need to be able to run your business and to set up a great system for yourself. Seller net sheets, when you're getting ready to figure out what your seller is going to net for their home after all the expenses, you can use the sheets here. Our office contact roster, our complete office contact roster is here. Open house resources, information about profit share, real estate forms. So if you're having trouble accessing North Star, or maybe you're somewhere that, you know, I don't know, you're just not able to access the forms on North Star, you can find them here as well. We have them all downloaded and available to print. Showing time resources, Super E-Key and Lockbox manual. Transaction flow chart, which runs alongside with the contract to close checklist. So with these two, you can get a really good idea of how exactly a transaction should go. Information about trust funds, which is a company that you can submit electronic earnest money through, a W-9, website resources, who does what in Wisconsin checklist. Who does what's a good one. If you have a question, this is just a good document to maybe print out and have readily available, so that when you do have questions, you can easily see who the best person is to go to for those questions. So lots of great information here in the shared Google Drive. The next thing I want to point out is going to be kwconnect.com. This is a Keller Williams International platform. And actually, I think I have it open. Yep, it's right here. So this is a training and education platform. Anything that you're looking for as far as like information about the technology, events, can probably be found here. If you're not able to find the information here, chances are it maybe just exists on answers.kw.com. Sometimes I can find some things there. And then there's a couple other websites, but mainly everything is here. So just a few things I want to point out. Under resources, this Connect Live, at any time, you can go in here and click Connect Live, and if there's a live stream happening at that moment, you can log in and watch it. Otherwise, Connect Live on Demand is a great place to go. So these are, you know, maybe people at KWRI in leadership, maybe people on the tech side of things, maybe mega agents, maybe you'll see some leadership from some other market centers that are pushing this training out. And you can see there's no shortage of information here. Master the business consultation. Get started with team functionality and command. I mean, tons and tons and tons of training. So there's definitely no shortage of it. This pivot shift ahead was created kind of because of the times that we're in. So there were live streams happening all day on this in the very beginning, right around March. Now they're not happening all day, every day, but you'll still see at least a couple trainings daily on here. All live streams. This Welcome New Associates is a tab that you'll find, this is included on your 30, 60, 90, and so this is where to find it. And you just basically go through and you start plugging away, clicking on the links, and getting everything set up. And then there's some more information down here too on Red Day, our culture, events, things like that, but I just want to point out a few things for now. Under technology, this tech-enabled agent is also going to be in your 30, 60, 90, and it's a great place to go for command training. So if you're looking for just specifically command training, this is where you'll find it. This Command Your Business is one of my favorite trainings in KW Connect. So the reason for that is it's all videos, which, you know, they're just easy to watch. You can kind of have them on in the background and continue to go about your work. And the agents or the individuals that put these videos out just are really easy to listen to. There's big personalities. And so I just really like this training series. I think it's just easy to get through. You know, there's videos, there's documents that you can read, all different kinds of training here. So this is really going to get you familiar with command at a higher level. And so that's pretty much everything that I want to point out here. Mainly, you're probably going to come here for command training. That's probably what you're going to use this for most, and the live stream. And we'll jump into command a little bit, and I'll just do a basic overview with you guys so you can see what that looks like. So your technology really consists of 3 different things, because we like to talk about this because it simplifies everything. It can just seem like there's so much coming at you as a brand new agent that we really just want to make sure that, you know, when it comes down to it, there's really only 3 websites that you need to concern yourself with. So one being the MLS, the multiple listing service, where you're going to search for homes and set buyers up on automatic searches. The other being KW Connect, which we just discovered, and we just went through kind of the basics of that website. And then KW Command, which is where you're going to probably spend most of your time technology-wise running your business. I always like to go over the Supra and North Star email that you received when you joined CMAR, if you have joined. And again, if you haven't joined, make sure that you do that soon. So when you receive that email, it's going to have credentials for you to be able to log into North Star, and then it's going to have information on how to download and install your eKey app on your phone. Please take the time to set that up and get your PIN number registered in there, because when you are ready to show homes to a buyer, the last thing we want is for it to be 7 o'clock on a Friday night and you don't have your e-key set up and you lost the email and you don't know your PIN and we have nobody to contact, because that information we can only get through the Southeast Minnesota Association of Realtors and they'd be closed by then. So just make sure that, again, you're doing your due diligence to be as prepared as possible. So make sure that you do that, and then also make sure that you're logging into MLS and you're familiarizing yourself with that program as well. We have a separate training called MLS Basics that we run that goes over pretty much everything except how to perform a CMA within Northstar. So if you haven't taken that training, make sure that you do. A lot of questions that I get throughout the day are covered in that training. So that's why we just really always like to have agents take that training as quickly as they can. And, you know, you're familiarizing yourself with that information, you know, in the beginning, and it really is going to alleviate, you know, some frustration down the road. So, like I said, you should get that email very shortly after you join, and just, again, take the time to go through it and familiarize yourself with both of those things. The consumer app and website I always like to talk about in this orientation, because it's really important that you get the consumer app downloaded on your phone and you get your website marketing profile all up to date and everything built out. So on the Scott Lorre marketing email, there is information on how to download the app and customize your website. You can customize your website as much or as little as you want to. So once you have your marketing profile complete, you will basically you'll have a fully functioning world-class website that's full of information and it has a world-class search experience on it. That's really all you need. So if you were to do absolutely nothing except fill out your marketing profile, it looks like you did do something. I mean, it's a fully functioning website and it's a great looking one. You can customize it, like I said, as much as you want to. So you can create custom landing pages. So you can be adding pages to your website that are completely custom that you're creating. You can add a page on there for people to be able to download your app. You can add listing and buyer guides so that if you have somebody that's interested in selling their property or somebody that's interested in buying a home, you can point them to your website and show them your guides, and it's going to tell them your exact step-by-step process on how buying or home selling works. You can do a testimonials page. People can go on and leave testimonials about you, all different kinds of things that you can do there. One of the first things that you want to be talking about anytime you're sitting down with a buyer is having them install your consumer app. And so when you go to set that up, make sure that you have yourself selected as the agent. Anytime you share the app, you'll be sharing your personally branded app. But if you don't select yourself as agent, you'll just be sharing the Keller Williams app and those leads won't come back to you. So at any time, whether you're sitting down with a seller or a buyer, really, have them download the app with you and tell them that that's where they should go to search for homes. The leads will always come back to you that way. If they're looking at Zillow or Realtor.com or somewhere else, you know, those leads are going to go to the agents that are paying for them. You don't want that to happen. And then as far as the website goes, you know, really pointing people to the website as much as you can. There are some different features on the app and the website that you're not going to find on any other real estate app and website. And so there's some things that really set us apart there. So as part of your orientation, and we talk about this a lot, you've probably heard it a lot, you will get an invitation to your exclusive 30, 60, 90. So a big part of the 30, 60, 90 are the core classes, right? That's where a lot of the information is going to come from that you're going to have, and a lot of your questions are going to get answered through those core classes. So take those as quickly as you can. That's why we have them all here within the first 30 days. We have most of these classes recorded on our closed Facebook group. We're working to get all of them recorded. And so you can go there and find the classes if you have not, like if one's coming up and it's you know, maybe 2 weeks away and you just want the information now, you can go and watch the pre-recorded one. But we do run all of these classes every single month in the Market Center live, just like this. So, you know, if you want to wait for the live class, great. Just know that you know, within that first 30 days, there should be a time where you'll be able to find it on the calendar, on the training calendar. So there's classes to attend, tasks to complete, and then you've got the same for the 60-day and the 90-day. You can see 60 and 90, there's not a whole lot here. The reason for that is because we want you to try to get familiar with everything as much as you can within that first 30 days, because there's so much information coming at you. And, you know, I always like to remind people that feeling overwhelmed or feeling like there's just so much coming at you is very normal. Every brand new agent feels the same exact way. So just know that that's normal, and eventually things will start kind of coming full circle and clicking, and you know, you won't feel like maybe you won't feel maybe as confused as hopefully you're not feeling, but it does happen. It happens, and it's very normal. So the new agent training that I was showing you on KW Connect is here. The Command Your Business is here. But everything that you need to do, so like ordering your business cards, you know, getting a professional headshot taken if you don't already have one, creating your value proposition or your biography, you know, reading the MREA. So there's plenty to do here. When you have questions, or maybe you are feeling overwhelmed and you're not really sure where to focus, just continue to focus on the 30, 60, 90, because we have included everything in here that you really need to know within those first 30 days. You know, the information that you can find on the closed Facebook groups, which there are hundreds of Keller Williams closed Facebook groups, information that you can find or training that you can find on KW Connect is great. And it's sort of like icing on the cake, I guess, if you will. And I would focus on those things once you get through your first 30 days at least. So stick to this and you will be just fine. I put these slides in here just to give you an idea of what those core classes consist of on your 30, 60, 90. So KWPR orientation is general information and policies and procedures. Tech orientation, which is this class. Intro to PC program. So if you, whether you're a new agent or an agent with previous production, you do have the opportunity to sit down with our productivity coach and have a conversation about whether or not you think that's a good, that program would be right for you. MLS Basics, which I referred to earlier. Instinet and AuthenticSign is another third-party vendor that is within MLS, but it's pretty robust, and this all has to do with filling out forms and sending them for electronic signatures, so we did dedicate one class specifically to that. Goal setting and budget planning. Actually, we changed the name of that one, so I need to update this slide. You'll have with Katie. She'll help you set your goals. You actually will put your goals directly into Command. How to create a CMA, listing forms, listing presentation and buyer presentation are self-study. So when you get ready to go to your first listing or go to your first listing appointment or have your first appointment with a buyer, you'll want to make sure that you are building out your presentation. So in Command, in the Designs applet, there are already pre-made presentations for you. And basically you're just going in and you're customizing them and pulling out what you don't want and plugging in what you think you might want to add. And it's just, when you save it, you print it, you email it, you present it when you're there. They're great presentations. It takes all the guesswork out of what you need to have prepared for a listing appointment or a buyer appointment. Prep to list is like all of the, you know, things that you didn't know you needed to know about listing a property. So you have the listing appointment, you get the listing. Now what do I do? So this is where to find info to complete input forms, lock boxes, set up showing time, install signs, scheduling open houses, how to fill out a change form, etc. So our master faculty helps us teach some of these classes on the core class schedule. And this is one that you'll find various agents teaching, and they do a phenomenal job. This is a great class to go to. Same with Right of Purchase Agreement. Our master faculty helps us teach that class. And then we've got buyer forms and prep to get paid. So again, making sure that as soon as you can, you're attending those core classes. Typically, if this is an in-person class, we have a workshop portion of this class. If you are a new agent with us and you have not scheduled a one-on-one tech orientation with me, please be sure to do so. We run this class as well as I do one-on-ones with all of the agents. The reason for that is because we want to have this information just on like a basic understanding available to you monthly, but the one-on-one is where we're actually going to go in and like, I'll help you download your app. I'll help you customize your website. We'll get the printer driver installed. We'll go over marketing policies again. We'll get you names and numbers to photographers. We can maybe order your business card. So we're sitting down and it's an actual workshop so that you can, get some of those like just kind of housekeeping things done, and we're doing it together. And then again, just some helpful resources for you. So the agent resources Google Drive that we went over in the beginning of this class, kwconnect.com, which we went over, answers.kw.com, the KWPR training events, so core classes, master faculty classes, Ignite. There's not a whole lot on a regional level happening right now, but there will be different agents from Keller Williams within our region that will come and do classes. So typically they're held in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and there's some great training that comes out of those. So if you ever get a chance to go to those classes, they're really good classes to go to. And typically, like I would say under $70 and lots of times less than that is what you can expect to pay. The NorthstarMLS.com training resources has tons and tons and tons of training and how-to videos and how-to guides and things like that. So if you're needing training on Northstar MLS or any of the third-party platforms that run alongside Northstar, you can find it here. We do have, I do dig in a little bit more and show you where some of those resources are in that MLS Basics class as well. So make sure that you attend that. Premier private Facebook page. So really like there's two places where we send out all of our information, or two places where we tend to use platforms to communicate with, and that's our closed Facebook group and email. So as long as you're in tune and you're keeping pulse with what's coming into your inbox and what's coming out of the closed Facebook group, you'll be completely up to speed. And there is a CMAR newsletter that comes out weekly as well. Be sure to read that. There is some information in there that can be important. Right now, we're going through forms changes. So every August 1st in Minnesota, our forms get updated. And so there's information on what's updated, what you need to know in that bulletin as well. And then the tech-enabled agent resources, which is the command training. So what's next? Again, if you haven't joined CMAR or an association, you'll make sure you want to do that. You'll enroll in the PC program if you haven't done that yet. If you're a brand new agent with us, you are auto-enrolled into that program. So if you don't have your appointment set up with our productivity coach, Kelly DeMail, please let me know and I can facilitate getting that set up with you. Your 30, 60, 90, that's really what we have you focus on right away. That's the core of your training. Everything's in there. So just get started with that as soon as you can, and then complete the core class schedule. Are kind of some of the most important things that we'd like to have you kind of start off with. So with that being said though, let's jump into Command a little bit. And I just want to do a quick overview on that program. Okay, so when you get into Command, I've got some tasks that I need to get done here. When you get into Command, you will get brought to the dashboard. You can customize this if you want to. Your goals that you'll put in during your goals meeting with Katie are right here, so they're really quick to get to right when you log in. Any product updates are going to be over here. I like this because it's an easy way to make sure that you're always on top of anything new coming into Command without having to go look for it. It's just all right here. And then new in designs, there's hundreds of designs within the designs applet. So anything that's new will be here. I just think that's kind of cool. So again, you can customize the dashboard too. You can just go up to customize home and you can move these around or delete them. Next applet down is going to be your contacts. Every single time you get contact information from a buyer or seller, it should go in here. And whether maybe you just got their name and their phone number, it should go in here. So you're adding a contact, you're putting in any information that you have about that person, and immediately you're putting them into an your sales pipeline. So typically the majority of your sphere is going to be in this cultivate pipeline. So I would say you really don't want to move. If you've got somebody that maybe you got a lead and you just tried to connect with them and you're not connecting with them and you've never had a conversation with them, they really shouldn't be in this cultivate. These are going to be your mets. So your haven't mets, those are just going to be in the system. You can tag them as maybe a haven't met, and I would keep them in the system. I would keep sending them items of value, but they don't need to be in your cultivate bucket because it's really not somebody that's likely going to bring you business anytime in the near future if they're not responding to you. But all of your mets should be in here. And I would say, you know, really, even if you just sold somebody a house a year ago, I would still put them in here and still set them up on a smart plan. You want to be sending people the items of value all the time. 36 touch is something that you'll hear referred to a lot. And what that means is you want to be touching or contacting every single person in your database at least 36 times a year. So whether it be emails, phone calls, maybe events that you're holding. So you definitely want to be staying in touch and staying top of mind with those people so that when that next real estate need does come along, they are contacting you and hopefully not going to like the realtor that's closest to them. You want to make sure that you're always staying top of mind. So you're going to put those contacts into one of these buckets, and anything that is in these buckets, it's going to calculate for you, and it will give you your potential income and probable income. So when you're creating an opportunity, and I'll show you what that looks like, you'll put a dollar amount with it. And based on whatever that dollar amount is, so a buyer's price range, or maybe you have a listing coming up and you put in like the list price that you think you might be at, those are all going to calculate and show up over here. Your potential income is going to be everything in this pipeline. The probable income is a percentage of everything in this pipeline, because hopefully everything in this pipeline gets to closing, but chances are, you know, it's not going to be 100%. So you get one for listings, one for buyers, and then one for leases as well. So when you're adding a contact, I mean, it's pretty simple. Add contact, you start filling this out. There are 9 fields that you can fill out to get your database, to get a contact up to 100%. Full name is one of them, email is another, phone number is another, a tag is another, primary address is another, one social profile is one. No, I don't think birthday is. Work, company name, or job title is one. And I think I'm forgetting one, but those are the important ones. And so then you're going to click create. And once you've created your contact, you'll click on it, and it's going to have all of your contact information here. It's going to have your health score. So you can see Derek, I probably could add some more information to get him up to a higher health score. The reason you want to have your database as healthy as possible is because the program is going to work better for you if you do. So if you've got home anniversaries, you've got birth dates, you've got company name, job title in there, you can set them up on a smart plan where they're getting, you know, a happy home anniversary email or phone call or text from you, happy birthday email or phone call or text from you, things like that. So the more information that you have, the better the program is going to work for you. The more often you'll be able to make contact with your database. So then when you get in here, you're going to see any opportunity that's related to this person, any smart plans that you have them set up on, any tasks, any notes, and any saved searches. So if this person has created an account on your website or your mobile app, and they're using the same email address that they used to, the email address that they used to sign up is the same one that you've put into the program, anything that they do on the app or website will show up here. So like If they click on a house, it'll show up. If they favorited something, it'll show up. And so what's really cool about that is when you pop into Command, every single day you'll pop in here. You can search by last visited, and you can see who the people are that have recently visited your app or your website. So we'll click on that person. I can go over to saved searches. So she's in there, but she hasn't created any saved searches. So let's just go to timeline. And now we can see the complete history. So view to listing, view to market snapshot landing page, view to listing. So this is a great opportunity for you to come in every single day and start to lead generate. So you've got people that are looking at certain properties to say, hey, you know, this is so-and-so from Keller Williams. I just noticed that you happen to be on the consumer app. You know, what did you like about some of the houses that you looked at? Or, you know, was there a particular property you were interested in seeing? Things like that. So just great ways for you to reach out. The next tab down is going to be your tasks. So if you have anybody set up on smart plans and there are tasks associated with those smart plans, they'll show up here. Here are the smart plans. So when you click on this applet first, it's going to bring you to your library. If this is blank and you don't see any smart plans here, then go up to library and you can pick which ones you want to add. So you just click add to smart plan and then it'll show up here. So then you can actually attach them to your contacts. You can do outgoing referrals in Command. Opportunities, anytime you have a new contact, so it's like I said, it's a new buyer or a new seller, we're going to create an opportunity for that person. And so you're coming in here, and that's what we call them opportunities, because it's an opportunity for you to sell a home, or it's an opportunity for you to represent a buyer in the purchase of a home. And so we don't call them transactions or like rooms or sales, because it's not necessarily just transactions or just signed purchase agreements that you'll have in here. You want to create the opportunity as soon as you have an opportunity to potentially, you know, represent somebody in the sale or purchase of a home. So you're just filling it out. Just like you can custom tag or tag a contact, you can also tag opportunities. So if you wanted to maybe put like what kind of financing that they would qualify for, you could put that here. So just whatever you think would be relevant. And then this is what I was telling you about, so estimated listing price. This is what you would put in there, and then that will build out and it will show up over here in potential income. It'll go by the price and the commission rate, and it'll give you your potential income. So you'll click create. Once you click create, this is what the opportunity looks like. And you will have different tabs here. So details, seller profile, documents, offers, commissions, notes, and timeline. I just thought of something, so I forget it. So when you get ready to upload documents into this specific opportunity, you will do so here, and you will first pick a checklist, and then the correct set of placeholders is going to pull in once you've picked your checklist. There is separate training called Prep to Get Paid on this. So if you haven't taken that training yet, that's one of your core classes, you know, obviously do so as soon as you can. Campaigns. This is something that a lot of our agents are having amazing success with right now. And what they're doing is they're running paid Facebook ads. You can go to Facebook and you can run your own ad through there. It's much simpler here, and we've taken a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. So create a new campaign. You'll do a social ad. You're going to want to make sure that your Facebook accounts are synced on here first. And again, if you haven't set up tech orientation with me on a one-on-one basis, please do so, because we do that during that orientation. So you're entering your campaign name. You're picking a goal. Let's just say, I just want to show you guys what this looks like. We'll say advertise listing, Facebook, and set up campaign. So the first thing it's going to ask you to do is find a property, right? So we're promoting a property. You don't necessarily have to promote a property. You can do something different. You can maybe promote yourself, but it's going to ask us for to pull in a property first. So let's just go to all listings. If you're not finding yours, chances are if you just go to all listings and then search, you'll be able to find it. So I don't know, we'll just say, let's just actually search Rochester, Minnesota. Okay, so let's use this one. Select. And you can see over on the right-hand side, this is what my ad on Facebook is going to look like. So this is going to be the preview. Over here on the left-hand side is where I'm going to change and update all my information. I'm going to figure out who I'm targeting. And then once you're done, it'll ask you how much you want to spend and how many days you want the ad to run. So for a really attractive, clickable, well thought out ad that's going to get a lot of traction and a lot of action is, you're looking at, for like a $30 ad spend, anywhere from 10 to 30 leads. They're typically a little higher quality than just a regular real estate internet lead because the information that's being captured. So when somebody clicks on this or they touch that on their phone, it's going to bring up a window that autofills with their name and their email address and I think phone number. And they just have to click submit one more time in order for that lead to be generated and for you to get that information. So it's pulling the information right from their Facebook profile. And so somebody would have to go in and physically change it on that lead capture form if they wanted to send you fake information, which does happen. It certainly happens. But the likelihood of them doing that is just a little bit less because, like I said, the information is auto-filling. So yeah, that's what a lot of our agents are having great success with. Reports. So reports are going to be built out for you as you continue to use the program. Designs this is not a core class. Once, I would say maybe every 2-3 months, I run a class on Fridays called Discovering Designs, and we go in and I just get you familiar with designs and what you can do with it. You can do business cards in here. You can do just listed flyers in here. You can do neighborhood snapshots in here. Buyer presentations, listing presentations, social media posts, these cool little neighborhood videos. There's so much in design. So next time you see that Discovering Designs in the calendar, that's a good class just to get familiar with it. But there's tons and tons and tons of training online too if you wanted to learn more about designs. This is just access to the KWLS, so Keller Williams Listing Service. You can go and search for properties here. Insights. So this information comes from Nextdoor, if you're familiar with that. Basically, it's, businesses around the area. You can move the map around. You can click on a business and it'll tell you, thumbs up, thumbs down. You can report the business. So just some different information in neighborhood insights here. And then this last one, landing pages, that's going to be anything that has to do with your consumer app or website is going to be here. So one of the things that is in that tech-enabled agent training is going to be how to set up your guides, how to create custom pages for your website, how to create landing pages, things like that. So that training will be more familiar with this platform. But if you wanted to make any changes, you just go to site and app settings and that can be done here. So those are your basics of command. As I said, you'll probably find yourself spending a lot of time here. There's just a lot this program can do. You can also access KW Connect from here as well. You have to click Connect and then click kwconnect.com. If you go up here to the drop down, a couple things I want to show to you. So profile, that's where you'll go to edit your marketing profile. Marketplace is a directory of different apps that can run alongside with Command. You just have to go out and find them and then just sync them or set up your account with them. Different settings that you can change. There's a link to Command training here as well. This is where you log out. And then I always like to point out this help button too. So if you have an idea that like you feel, oh, it would be so great if I could do this in Command, you can post it, and what's going to happen there is this idea will show up in a website called ideas.kw.com. What I would maybe suggest actually before you post an idea is go on here and see if somebody else has already done that. So I'm going to type in consumer app. So you're just searching for something. And let's see. Okay, so here's kind of a cool one. Add loan to consumer app. Can we have the app only show homes that the consumer's loan qualifies for? That would be kind of cool. So one person has come up with that idea and 2 people have voted it up. So the way that features get implemented into Command is by votes. And so every single week, Gary Keller and Josh's team, and I assume a team of people, sit down and they go through this exact website and they see like, what is the most popular request? Like, what are the most popular requests this week? And based on whether or not they think that that's a possibility that they can, get something like that done, or the, leadership team has to decide that it also is something that's worth adding or changing, then they implement them. And so as far as consumer app goes, you can see like needs review, implemented. So sometimes things will be in development. Anyway, I just think this is like a cool place to go. So you can you can search over here on the right hand side as well. Let's just click on compliance. And within a specific category, you can click on status and you can say, I want to see what's in development and compliance. And this will tell you everything that's in development in compliance. So I don't know. I just really like that website. I think it's cool. You guys might not think it's as cool as me because I don't know, maybe that makes me a dork or something, but I like this website. I think it's cool. Okay, so we're going to go into the help section again. Keller Williams University is a great place to go for help, and then also chat with support. Sometimes chat can be a little bit slow, so if you are finding that you're waiting a long time and you're not getting the answers that you need, I myself email Scott Leroy Marketing a lot because they know this system inside and out, and there's, with the exception of a few things, can pretty much help you with anything. So I email them because they are always getting back to me the next day. Just a little tip for you. So that being said, that is pretty much everything that we go over in tech orientation. Hopefully that, just gives you a little bit more focus on what you have available to you and what those different platforms can do. And as always, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. That's my job, is to help you guys get up and off the ground as quickly as possible and get you familiar with all the technology here. So thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.